Marine reacts to SCP-001-J, the big red button. Object class Keter. As a compulsion / joke SCP. By Eastside Show SCP. As always, I'm going to be leaving a link to the original video and channel down in the description below, so go ahead and make sure that you check them out. Okay, so as far as the original video, when I put it in my video editing software, the only thing that showed up was a black screen, and you can only hear really my voice. I don't know if I had my scenes mixed up in OBS or kind of what happened, but it's happened in the past, but not very frequently. I don't really kind of know what happened with that. I'm not really necessarily a big tech guy. If I ever do anything, it's always trying to look at things up on YouTube and try to see like little tutorials, and that's the way that I've been learning as I go. So I'm gonna be reacting to this SCP again. It may not be. I may not be like compulsively laughing like how I was in the first video, or the first time around that I saw it. But I do have quite a bit of things to say on it. I will also be releasing this video same day today with the Confinement Series episode 6, just because this is a relatively short one and I can edit it a lot quicker and have it up in time. But before we get into the actual video, don't forget to like, subscribe, really does help me out a lot. Hit that notification bell right there, so you get notified every time I do upload. Sometimes I upload twice a day, typically working on them in the mornings and releasing them in the late afternoon to late evening. That way when you all get off work, you enjoy the videos at your leisure. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see what SCP-001-J, the big red button, is all about.
Item number SCP-001-J. Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedure.
Alright, first off, right off the bat, it's the little background music that gets me every time. Especially when I was watching it through the first time, so.
The location of Site-00, where SCP-001-J is to be kept, must remain an absolute secret. To this end, Site-00 will be guarded entirely by automated defense systems and have no living staff whatsoever. SCP-001-J itself will be kept locked in a cube made entirely from tungsten carbide, which is itself inside of another cube made of tungsten carbide, which will in turn be placed at the bottom of a 3-kilometer-long elevator shaft. Multiple Molly guards have been carefully placed over SCP-001-J, and the robots on Site-00 will be prepared to replace these guards if needed. Description: SCP-001-J is big, red, shiny, strangely appealing button that just begs to be pushed. SCP-001-J is a self-destruct mechanism that Foundation scientists believe is powerful enough to destroy reality itself, consisting of a circular red button set into a metal case. It looks like candy.
Alright, so I know I've already seen this, and I really kind of know what I'm going to be talking about, but there's just so many things with this. I mean, it's a joke SCP, I know, I'm fully aware, but I'm curious as to what the button actually looks like, because is it literally just like kind of this part right here cut off, and it's just this part right here? And you'll see when they start to talk about how it was found and how they think that this might break reality as we know it.
The mechanism by which SCP-001-J operates is not fully understood, but it would be awesome to find out. SCP-001-J induces a mild psychic compulsion upon all beings who see it or hear it described to try to push it. You know you want to. History: SCP-001-J was first discovered by President of in an elevator car. At that time, SCP-001-J looked exactly as it does now, except for the addition of a sticky note that said, "If you push this button, you'll destroy everything."
See, that's the thing right there. This guy finds it and just immediately assumes it's real. Now, bear in mind, I know they haven't really mentioned it, but they talk about later on in the video that he ended up giving it to the founder who creates the SCP Foundation. It's like, for all you know, this is just some kid playing a prank, and he just pulled it off. It's just, that is the biggest leap into assuming something, and I assume a lot. But there's like no evidence. Again, it's a joke SCP. I know, I get it, but the fact he sees a note, sticky note, could have just been some kid that did it. This has to be real.
The President managed to fight his compulsion to press SCP-001-J long enough to remove SCP-001-J from the elevator and lock it in.
To be fair though, they did say it has mimetic properties, so it makes you want to push it. I guess that could be some indication that this might have something else going on. But there's no real reason, as far as I can think of, that this would break reality.
In the closet of his office. Afterward, he contacted, known to us as the Founder, and charged him with creating a special organization with the specific goal of preventing SCP-001-J from being pressed, either by careless accident or by deliberate malice, and also with the goal of protecting humanity from monsters and stuff.
Monsters and stuff. I don't think I've ever heard those in any other SCP document that I've listened to.
Agreed. Took SCP-001-J and hid it under a pile of old socks in his basement. Spent the remainder of his life sitting on his porch using a shotgun to fend off miscreants on his lawn who were...
Okay, I didn't remember this part. I don't remember about the dude just fucking literally protecting it with the shotgun.
Suspected of being SCP-001-J sympathizers. The millions of dollars he made on the stock exchange were used to create a trust fund that was the basis of our Foundation. Since died and the Foundation was set up to replace him, there have been attempts to press SCP-001-J. Before Site-00 relocated to Antarctica, there were many...
You just redacted the... See, you know, it's actually good that I watched this again, because... God, my memory's horrible. But they just redacted the wrong part as far as Antarctica. Could you imagine if this is really how the SCP Foundation started?
Many near breaches of containment when Foundation personnel attempted to press SCP-001-J to see what would happen and had to be terminated. There have also been numerous attempts by the Foundation's enemies to retrieve SCP-001-J, particularly the Order of the Sacred Button Pushers, who have sworn to stop at nothing to capture and press SCP-001-J. Addendum 1. I, for one, think it is absurd that we still know so little of this SCP, even though we owe the creation of our organization to it, and allow petty fears of existential annihilation to prevent us from studying SCP-001-J. I propose a simple test. Using a remote-controlled drone, we will gently tap the outer surface of SCP-001-J. If my calculations are correct, only a tiny portion of everything will be destroyed, and the probability that we will be...
Why don't they put Gorilla Superglue around it? Like right around the edges here, so it can't be pushed. What if they just dismantle the whole thing? Joke SCP there.
Be part of this portion is astronomically small. Dr. Blarg. Addendum 2. Denied. Report to the Psych Ward immediately. 05. Addendum 3. Recently, many instances of objects that superficially resemble SCP-001-J have appeared on the Internet and elsewhere. Although they seem to share the mimetic effects of SCP-001-J, reality-destroying properties have not been confirmed. Research into the possibility of using these devices as a preventative measure against people pushing SCP-001-J has been postponed due to the number of researchers who started pushing buttons and refused to stop. Addendum 4. In relation to Addendum 3, researchers unable to stop pushing SCP-001-J lookalikes appear to have a chronic addiction, and that they are now physically reliant on pushing SCP-001-J lookalikes. The affected have been admitted to hospital for Foundation monitoring. Further research is recommendatory, but how it should be carried out will be the subject of further discussion.
Alright, let's go ahead and talk about that for just a minute. Obviously in this one I didn't laugh as much just because I kind of knew what was coming, but there were a couple of things that I had forgotten that happened. Like, I didn't know the guy was on his porch with a shotgun, just literally defending this button. God, it'd be so funny if it ends up just being like some prank by some kid. I mean, I can't really say anything as far as it relating to SCP because it's not meant to be considered taken seriously. But it's definitely funny, at least the way he portrayed it. And it was honestly the background music that was really getting me. I mean, I would have been curious to see if they incorporated some other SCPs that maybe try to push it. And the secret order of the button pushers, I feel like I've heard that somewhere else in a different SCP. And so I'm still kind of confused of whether or not that's actually a real thing. But can you imagine if this was just really the way the SCP Foundation started? Monsters and stuff. So, other than that, I really don't have much else to say. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it again. It's definitely a nice, quick, short, sweet story that kind of just gives you a comedic side to the SCPs. And that's going to go ahead and be it for this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe. It really does help me out a lot. Hit that dislike button if you didn't like it. If you're curious to see what's coming up next, check the description down below. You can see a list of about 5. Top to bottom is going to be how I view them. But until then, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.